is going to take us a little bit further in terms of inspection ready manufacturer, where they could literally say, you know, our CSV program is ready and strong. We developed a CSV process following risk-based approach aligned with ISPE GAMP, good practice guide, and of course the upcoming. We decided to early adopt the CSA methodology to start realizing the value. Okay, I did not make this up. I got it really from my manufacturer. Again, we support a lot of our clients, and some of them, they're ready with these statements. They're so confident that they're doing the right thing. And I believe, and this is my opinion, but then of course I'm going to ask the expert from the FDA, when you speak to a manufacturer that has this attitude, what is your reaction? And Cisco.
So I think, first of all, that's a great attitude to bring. I mean, I always highlight to people that the inspection where people kind of tend to panic, honestly, that's your opportunity to show off. Really take it, show them why it is that you're doing what you're doing, why it is important, and that you are confident in the output and the results, right? End of the day, you as a manufacturer are the expert in your product and your system, right? You know, the FDA is bringing in the expertise on the policy that's required, the expertise on the regulations, but the idea of, you know, how that all comes together, that's what that opportunity for discussion happens, right? That exchange between the FDA and the actual experts who are in the room from the company. I like that that's the case and they're ready to go. And I think, as we've said multiple times in previous sessions, nothing in what we're saying in CSA as it's coming out is new. Nothing. I'm sure people will be shockingly surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the first comments we get back are, well, this is not new. Got it. We've been saying that, right? The ISPE GAMP work already highlights and was well underway in terms of stating a lot of that concept and process that you could apply and think about. So the idea of moving forward, yeah, I think companies should be going forward with that, and that they should be using this approach to help make their process faster and get these, you know, access to data, technology, and systems to make the product better down the road, implemented and moving. Don't necessarily wait for the agency.
Thank you.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I like to think of it as, you know, we all know, and if we've all read guidance, it always says this is our current thinking on things, and it's a way to help industry understand. But really, the FDA has already put out what they expect, and that is the regulations. And so I like to think of it as almost like a destination, right? There's a destination. We're not going to tell you how to exactly get there. Sometimes we'll give you guidance, but this is the destination. How you choose to get there is your choice. You may go different ways. Some of those ways you might go, we may have issues with if they're not scientifically sound, if you don't have the data to support. And again, when I say data to support, an adequate amount of data, not more data than you need, not less, you know, just right, kind of the Goldilocks principle there. You want to have the data to support what you're doing. It should be scientifically sound, but you don't always have to, how do I put it? The guidance is there to give you an idea of what we're doing or what we're thinking right now, but that's right now, and that's kind of a static thing that happens from time to time. But technology is always advancing, and the expectation is you stay current, right? So if you have a guidance document that we look at, well, for example, related to Part 11. Part 11 guidance document was written, like, I think like 20 years ago, okay? A lot has changed in 20 years. You don't have to say, okay, I'm gonna have to do exactly the same way this document from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 1 year ago, whatever the time period is, I'm gonna stick to that and not advance. The agency's not telling you that. The agency's not saying, wait for us to tell you how to do your job. We're telling you, get to the destination, get there in an appropriate, scientifically sound manner, prove that you got there in an appropriately and scientifically sound manner. But if you don't know, you know, some people are really bad at with directions. And so we say, hey, here's a way that you can get there, but you don't have to wait there. Wait until we give you that to start your journey, because you should have already started your journey the moment you decided to start manufacturing products.
Ken,
think,
any insight?
Yeah, you know, everything in CSA was already there. Use critical thinking. I mean, it's like data integrity. When did we not expect data integrity? Whether it was paper or whether it's electronic, it was always there. In GAMP, they talked about take screenshots when it adds value. If you're writing a test case, the amount of scripting is proportional to your need for repeatability, the need to challenge a specific case in a consistent, repeatable fashion. And that's, you know, usually most of the high-risk requirements have that, but you could have a high-risk requirements like just push a button. And that doesn't necessarily need to have a detailed skip. It's where you need to use your thinking. And where the concern is how that the guidance, I think what Seneca says, like, they don't enforce based on guidance, enforce on regulation, statutes, right? That's where the compliance ruler is. And we need to quit hiding behind these standards or the guidance, because it's almost like we're hiding, like, these are, if I do this, I fulfill my legal obligation. If I do this, I fulfill my moral obligation, and we don't innovate. We have like a 3x3 tables that we've used forever, and we don't even use all of GAMP. We just use one section. And CSA is kind of broadening it, apply that critical thinking, and we just as an industry need to move forward and innovate, because that's what we need, especially as the world is becoming more technological. As the earlier comments, right? Automation is here. Things are moving forward. Other industries are now talking not about using AI in testing.